How's it going, folks? Just thought I'd do a quick tutorial on how to clone out a poll in Photoshop. Now, um, in Lightroom, you could try and use your healing or clone tool in there, but I tried that and it isn't giving a good result. This is the kind of thing, because there's so many different sort of variances here with regards to color and shape and shadows and so on. It didn't really give a good result. So that's when you open up Photoshop, as there's a lot more control when it comes to cloning in Photoshop than there is in Lightroom. So what I'm going to do is go to the clone tool over here, or what you can do is hit C on your keyboard, and that will open up your clone tool. And what I'll do is zoom in. Now I've chosen this area to start with, and I'm going to work my way up from there, and then I'll come back here and work down. I guess that kind of thing just comes with experience. Where you start is up to you, but this is where I am going to start. So what I'm going to do first is try get this area here the same as the rest of it, with regards to having a nice ending, a nice clean ending with the leaves here. So I'm going to take this little area as a source point. Now when it comes to cloning, what you got to do is basically you clone over something from a source point. So how to do that is, when you're in your clone tool, you basically hit option, you press the option key on your keyboard, and you'll see that your brush changes to a little target, and you can take a source point from anywhere. Basically you click that area and that will now be your source point. And what Photoshop will do is it'll show you a little preview of what you're going to brush over. And we're just going to brush over this area here, and I'm going to work my way down and then up, and I've got a nice little clean sort of break there now. What I'm going to do is take a new source point over here close by the clouds. I'll zoom out quickly. A little trick for zooming out, in and out: if you use the command and plus and minus buttons on your keyboard together, you can zoom in and out. Alright, and then even another trick is, if you hold down your space bar, your brush or your cursor will turn into a little hand, and then you can then click and drag. While you continue to hold down your space bar, you can click and drag the canvas to wherever you want. Okay, so let's go back here and take another sample from here and make our brush a bit bigger. Another tip in Photoshop is you can use the bracket open and bracket closed keys to make your brush bigger or smaller. Okay, so you can see there, just on the right, is a little crosshair which is showing me where my source is, and I'm just basically going to go, and I could do this nice and neatly later if I wanted, but I'm just going to do this relatively rough job for you guys just to show you. Make my brush a bit bigger here, and just whoops, you can see it's come too close to the source point. So if I go Command Z, I can undo that and just start with a new source point there, and that's a lot neater. Might just clean that up a little bit. I'm not going to get too involved here. There you go, that looks nice and fresh. Alright, and I'll probably take a source point from there and work my way down here. Now it starts getting a bit tricky with all the different areas that need to be cloned out here. So what I'm going to do is simply take a source point from there. And what I find, guys, the biggest tip I can give you with this tutorial is subtle adjustments are best. And sometimes that can be tedious. Like this is, I think, the 10th photo from this wedding of this scene. I really love this scene. I think it's beautiful. But there's this giant horrible pole in the way. So I think this is like the 8th or 9th one. I'm nearly there, and by the time you get to like the 7th, 8th, 9th photo, it starts to get a bit boring. So especially when you're having to do small adjustments. But I can tell you now, the best adjustments are the subtle ones, because they make the least damage, or they leave the less sort of trace, if that makes sense, that there was something there. I find that using the lines is a good idea. So using your horizon line. So here I'm going to go take a source point from there and line it up there. And again, guys, just nice subtle adjustments. Nothing over the top. You can come and clean this up later. Let's take a source from there. Stick to these lines so you complete the pattern and you continue that pattern and it doesn't look odd. What you don't want is for people to look at it and to identify that there was something there or that something's been cloned out there. Most time people won't, because people's eyes tend to go to the subjects or the overall view if it is a beautiful sort of landscape like this. But you know, rather keep it safe is my suggestion. Excuse me. And that's looking good. Now don't forget to get rid of any shadows that might appear. I mean, it's no good removing the object and leaving the shadow, because people will see that. And just taking a few more source points there, and I have a nice result at the end. Nice, neat and clean clone. That was the original. That's the end one. I might just go in and clone these people out while I'm here. And done. Command S will save the image in a TIFF file, and that should save it back into Lightroom for you. Alright guys, thanks so much. Catch you later. Bye.